Is Flair really that bad? I mean, it's the worst rated airline in Canada based on customer satisfaction. I'm really here to see if that's truly the case. After spending some time at Outside Lands Music Festival down here in San Francisco, it's time to return back home to Vancouver. After dropping off the rental car, it's time to take the train over to Terminal 1. Neeks, Ro, what's your expectation for Flair?
Amazing service.
10 out of 10. Amazing flight attendant. Comfortable seats, way more comfortable than any plane I've ever been on.
You sure about that?
Yeah.
Alright.
Great flight. Great food, great snacks. I would even say it might be better than Air Canada. I might even say that.
I don't think so. Flair and WestJet have a bit of a weird setup here at SFO. Their check-in and baggage carousel was in the international terminal, while the gate being used was the one at the new Harvey Milk terminal. So after initially thinking that the check-in would be in Terminal 1, we walked over to the international terminal. Additionally, we all thought the departure time was 1850, but turned out to be 1815. Luckily we showed up right before cutoff, and the flight was already delayed for 1 hour. So with Flair, if you decide to check in at the desk, they slap on a $25 Canadian fee. But this was included in the fare that we had. The agent didn't think that was the case, saying on her computer I didn't have it, until I showed her the confirmation email. I'll talk about some pricing details later on in the video. Other than that small inconvenience, we were asked to use the security at the international terminal and walk over to Terminal 1. I previously flew over the Harvey Milk terminal just under 2 years ago with JetBlue. This terminal is so great. Tons of open space, natural lighting, and some good food options. Not just for Terminal 1's sake, but SFO is my favorite airport to fly out of in the US. Soon enough, our aircraft came in and made its way towards the gate. This Flair 737 MAX 8 is leased from CMBC Aviation Capital and was originally destined for Air Europa, as it's out of its typical livery. We had priority boarding included in our tickets, but just showed up just a little too late to take advantage of it. Flair's 737 MAX is equipped with 189 seats, with 6 rows having a little bit of extra legroom. The seat today for this 2-hour hop up north is 2A. For myself, I tend not to have too many problems with seat pitch, as I'm fairly short, but there's 29 to 30 inches of pitch available. I felt that this was one of the seats with the extra legroom, even though it wasn't the one illustrated on the seat map. In this mediocre seat back pocket, there's a safety card and a snack menu available. This tray table is not as big as you think. Even the ones on Air Canada's Maxes are a lot bigger than this. But in all fairness, this is a lot better than what's offered on Spirit or Frontier. And surprise, surprise, we got a small coat hook available. And as to be expected on low-cost carriers, we have a stubby little armrest, and the seat doesn't recline, but this actually wasn't too bad for such a short flight. And for all you people that are obsessed with it, every seat has the overhead air vents with a side of filth. Besides the missing armrest cover, I'm surprised that there's USB power available. I was definitely not expecting that. There's actually a decent amount of food available, and some of them actually don't look half bad. I'm even liking the addition of local Canadian craft beer available. There is streamable entertainment available, but there's no Wi-Fi available on this aircraft, so I didn't get a chance to try it.
Flight attendants, please prepare doors for departure.
Pushing out of the gate, we go past this cool yet weird Pippi Longstocking looking aircraft. I hope to be taking this Condor Airbus A330neo sometime in September. I really hope so. I absolutely love sitting in the window. I just couldn't stop filming all the views leaving the bay. This was definitely one of the best takeoffs I've had in quite some time. Shortly after takeoff, the food and beverage service started, but I opted not to get anything as I already ate in the terminal right before leaving. Before checking out the lavatory, some old remnants were left here. I mean, at this point, all 737 MAX aircraft lavatories are the same here across all carriers. Luckily, I just got to it before it got too messy. Walking through the other half of the cabin, I didn't find an open row, but yeah, the seat pitch definitely looks a bit uncomfortable. See what I mean about tray table size? This is definitely not oriented towards your typical business traveler. Let's get into the price breakdown here. So Flair is a no-frills ultra low-cost carrier. Today's fares was 287 Canadian dollars per person. Everything in the breakdown here is doubled up for 2 people. And you can see we opted for all the frills here. Airport check-in, selected seating, and the big bundle, which includes a personal carry-on, check bag, priority boarding, and booking changes or cancellation up to 3 hours prior to departure. $200 isn't terrible for a base fare on this route, and you could probably get it for a bit cheaper if you booked it in advance. Unlike me, booking it 2 days prior, but still not bad. And as for all the prices of the frills, it's not too terrible, but just know you'll pay heavily more if you leave all these decisions to the last minute.
Can I interrupt your conversation for a second?
Jay, what do you think of Flair so far?
Flair is chill. It's chill.
It's chilling.
Not too bad. I think this we got
SG, what do you think?
It's an airline.
It's an airline. Yeah, that seems about right. It's an airline. So yeah, that's a perfect summary here. Flair is just an airline. I mean, the flight wasn't bad at all, not in the slightest. But I have some key takeaways of Flair, both good and bad. First, the delay was communicated right away via email, so that's good. I honestly felt that the seat was perfectly acceptable for the length of this flight, but I highly doubt you'll catch me flying this transcontinental. Many travelers have had terrible experiences with Flair, and I won't deny that, and I'll explain why these scenarios typically happen. First, Flair runs on such a tight schedule with little downtime. Their planes just turn around and go again with little time for maintenance. That being said, all of Flair's 737 MAXs are still fairly new. Second and lastly, even though I can go on to this for hours, since Flair runs such a tight schedule, when a major delay happens and they need to reassign aircrafts and crew, they just don't have the assets for it, as every little last piece is being used to its full extent. To wrap it up here, would I book with Flair again? Honestly, I highly doubt it. There just might be a little conflict of interest here. But for you, the viewer's sake, yeah, why not? If the fare is cheap and the flight is under 3 hours, I wouldn't hesitate to take advantage of a good deal. Thanks again for taking the time to watch this. I am inches away from 1,000 subscribers. If you'd like, feel free to leave a like and subscribe. Till next time, I'll see you in the next video.